Hello, YouTube modeling community. That's Rusty Rotor. This video will be two parts, so make sure you guys watch it from the beginning to the end. I'll try to keep it as quick as possible. Project Shorty is not 100% done. We're right in those final stages, basically, of making all of our connections, final assembly, final polish, that kind of stuff. So we're going to go over it. I will do a final video when it is 100% done. But just to kind of show you where we're at. So she's been painted, clear coated. All the chrome trim was done. This is all Molotow. Half airbrushed, half paintbrushed. I tried a little experiment this time around with Molotow. I really like it. I guess I'm just comfortable of using it. I have used other products, All Clad, Green Stuff. I've used all those, and I've not used the Revell. I know a lot of people are boasting about it and bragging about it, but I've heard a lot of negative too. And the negative is basically the same thing as Molotow. So why am I going to spend $30 on a can of Revell Chrome and have the exact same issues I have with Molotow and pay $30, where, one of these refill pens is about $20. This has lasted me 5 years, and it's still about right there. So I've only used a quarter or a third of the container in that long of a time. And me personally, I get enjoyment out of painting it by hand or with a toothpick, because back in the day, guys, unless you're really, I guess, perfection driven, where you would tape constantly everything off, and you're using the tester silver to get that chrome look. I'm just so used to that technique that the Molotow kind of fits right in there. Now, all this chrome trim, and mind you, the light's not 100% gray in here, is still super shiny. Now, most people will complain, well, when I spray clear over Molotow, it dulls it down, makes it aluminum. Well, you got to remember, most of the time, the trim on these cars, even from the 80s back, was a brushed aluminum, or polished aluminum, or polished nickel, or, chrome plated. So, you don't have to worry too much about it dulling it a little bit. You don't want that pure silver paint look, of course. But, so, fooling around with Molotow for 8 years now, I have kind of perfected, to say, this technique. I'll share it with you. What I do is I've got a secondary thing of Molotow. Got about the same amount in it, and that one's 8 years old. I'll put it down in my airbrush. I use about a half of a bowl, and I put 5 to 6 drops of Mr. Color Leveling Thinner in that. Mix it up, suck it up in the pipette, squirt it back out. I spray that in 3 to 4 light coats. You build up that shiny chrome by doing that. I don't have to worry about using a black base, gloss black base, to get that chrome to really come out. I can shoot it over raw plastic, raw resin. It does not matter. And I'm going to show you the difference here in just a second. With the exact same results. So if I went through all the process of All Clad, painting it gloss black, letting that cure, then start hitting it with the All Clad chrome, 3 or 4 layers, build up that shiny layer. All Clad will wear, by handling it too much, the same as Molotow. The difference with All Clad, if I shoot clear over it, it will dull it down to where it looks silver versus chrome-like. Let's put it that way. It's not, I think if it was called Metrolis, something like that. People used to send their wheels out and parts to get them all chromed up, or re-chromed. That's your best option. But on some of these things, you can't remove this trim to send it off to get it chromed. Now, it would be nice if this detail was already, edged out, the panel lines put in for you, and then this chrome strip was a separate piece. I would still strip the chrome off of it, re-chrome it. But, it is what it is. But you can get that, you can see the shine in that chrome. Around the windshield, same way. All the rocker panels, all done in chrome. So the key is treat the Molotov. Well, here's the thing. After you're done spraying the Molotov, I put it in a dehydrator for 2 hours at 122 degrees. Okay, then it's still not 100% dry, but it's good enough to bring out into the air. And then I let it dry for 24 hours from that time before I start handling it. And then I handle it bare minimum 72 hours before I shoot clear over it. So if you want to get a realistic looking chrome, not toy chrome, this would be the method I would recommend trying it. Play around with it first till you get comfortable doing it. You may have to add 7 drops, depending on how much chrome you're shooting through your airbrush. And I clean it all out with a cheap thinner, that clean strip. That's what I clean my airbrush out with. And I've got a ultrasonic cleaner that about once a month I'll put my airbrush parts down in, give it a good ultrasonic cleaning. I go through about 3 or 4 cycles, and then I shoot some cheap thinner through it to clean all the gunk out, and I'm good to go to spray whatever I want. Some of this is hand painted, some of it's brush painted, some of it's airbrushed. Now, if you remember, or if you're familiar with Mobius kits, they're not 100% accurate to, let's say, being in this case a 67 Ford Ranger. So I had to add the trim around the rear window, which ended up getting sanded down to the point of, with the window being recessed where it should be flush, I could have taken the time and trimmed the windshield down and got it up to where it had been flush to the back. Yes, if I build a copy of this for Justin, chances are that's what I'm going to do, is bring that glass out flush with the body line that I'll add to his also, and then I can paint that rubber trim that goes around there. For mine, I'm not too worried about it. The interior, we've got the interior in the cab. I don't know if you guys can see down in there or not. We've got detail in here made from Spunky 739, Ernest. He made the little air freshener, air trees. The ignition switch, or ignition key, is from MGSF. I removed all the detail on the dash and replaced it with just styrene strips. Sewing pins, the flat-headed sewing pins, those became the new knobs. We used the kit decal. We had a custom decal made for the glove box from STS Decals. I don't know if you can even see that in there or not. If you ever get to see this in person, you can look through there and you can see it through the back window or through the side window here pretty good. It's a 2-part decal. It's a chrome strip first, and then black lettering that says Ranger. Just another piece of detail to match the real truck. Interior is all built, painted around what the real truck looks like, which Mobius gives you a good base, everything to work with. Didn't have to add nothing other than key little pieces of detail like that decal, the Christmas trees, the ignition switch or key, and then made the knobs more realistic, bumped out the trim on the dash a little bit more and chromed it. So we did all that. We did take a scriber and go down along the lines of the bump out, because that's got black trim around the chrome all the way down. So that worked out really good. Could have been better, but it's playing the part very well. Ernest Spunky 739 designed the marker lights for me. Those are 3D printed. Then I chromed them. Then used, to me, a clear orange, amber, whatever it is, orange, to fill in for the marker lights. He also designed the center grill piece emblem, which, again, was my fault. It's not his fault, but they look really good, and I'll be using them on other ones. But for this build, it was the grill that was inaccurate, and being this close to the end, Ryan Jones came out with a whole new line of bumpers and grills, not bumpers, but grills for the F100 Mobius kits, 67 through 69, which at the end of this video, we're going to talk about and I'll show them to you. So you guys make sure you watch to the end. So we got all that in, the cab's in, or the interior's in. We did gloss the floor. This is a show truck, so everything's nice and shiny. It doesn't get taken off road and put in the mud or anything like that. It gets driven on the streets, but it is a street queen and trailer queen for all intents and purposes. And Justin's not scared to tell you that, and I don't blame him. It's an absolutely beautiful truck. I fell in love with the truck first, and then I learned about the story behind the truck, and that really drove me to want to build this in remembrance of his father, who built the truck and designed it for him. So this is just paying homage to what I consider in the truck world a fantastic truck builder, designer, and I've always loved four-wheel drive trucks. Being in Georgia myself, they were very prevalent. It was every weekend we'd be out in the woods, on trails, down in the mud, whatever it may be, in somebody's four-wheel drive, and partying, and so on and so forth. So to be able to build this and get the key pieces made to represent the real truck was amazing. My friend that I work with, or I did work with, I'll probably be working with again, he works in the body shop, so he custom mixed the paints for me. These are OEM colors, just with pearl. The teal has got the pearl in with it. The pearl white is a two coat or two-step process. The base coat is the actual white that the Ford Ranger would have had. We just added a pearl layer over top of that to match the real truck. So these are all PPG paints. Molotow. We use Vallejo. We use testers. We use Tamiya, and that was pretty much it for the paints. So yeah, the cab is done other than the wiper blades, the side mirrors, and the door handles. So those will kind of be one of the last things we put on. We've got the hood all done, and then again you can see those letters. They're not just shiny because of the clear coat over it. If you're looking at this in person, you can see the chrome. It's not dulled down aluminum, it's chrome. And hopefully you guys can see that through the camera. I don't know. Same way as I stripped the chrome off this hood trim, we re-chromed it using the Molotow. This has not been clear coated, but I've touched it. And once this stuff gases out, and using that leveling thinner, it kind of, I don't know, it creates a bond, kind of, from what I'm seeing. You guys try this and you can let me know down the road what you think and how the results are, and by handling it and everything else. You still have to be gingerly with it. Try not to touch it too much. But we got our f250 side badges on the hood. So the hood is all done. Ready to go. We got to paint our insulation panels underneath still. That's kind of one of the last things I do also. But we've painted all the chrome trim. That was all clear coated. The badges, if you want to replicate a truck like this, Mobius gives you all, throughout all their truck kits, everything you need to build a Ranger, except for the accurate grille, which we know now Ryan Jones has designed that, and you can get that now, and you can complete your look. On the tail, or the back of the bed, I guess, tailgate, there's a double chrome strip here and a double chrome strip here. I added that in with styrene strips and then chromed it. This piece of chrome trim across the top was added and then chromed. Chrome trimmed around that. Now, there's no way I could do the chrome trim around the lettering like the real truck has. That's just way out of my wheel horse of patience and technical skill. But they give you 3 different decals, and one is a chrome and brushed aluminum look to it, and that's what we went with. That turned out really nice. Taillights are in now. all the back of the truck is, the bed is done. All the panel line wash is in and done, cleaned up. We just need to put a final coat of wax on this. Yeah, and we got the tires and wheels. Now, thank God kind of that this fell and broke, because it broke the tire and wheel loose cleanly, no damage. And now I can leave that tire off to show the shock detail, the brake line detail, caliper and rotor. That kind of look when we're at a show. We'll be able to do that if we want. And the tire just goes on. Just like that. So if I want the tires on it, I can have it on there. If I want to take it off and put a jack stand underneath the differential, I can. Underneath, you remember, I scratch built all the front linkages, tie rod ends, all that stuff. The shocks were designed by Ernest. All the brackets to hold the shocks in place, I scratch built. All the nuts, washers, shackle bolts are all added. Are all scratch built by me. All the brake lines, the fuel lines, the inline fuel filter, which you'll see when it's all done, were all added by me. You can see the rear brake detail in the back. Going to the wheels, the emergency brake cables were installed. They'll actually go up through a hole in the floorboard, like on the real truck. This front drive shaft was scratch built by me. We used two kits, a long bed 4-wheel drive and a short bed pickup truck, and we put the 4-wheel drive suspension underneath it. We modified it to give the lift that it needed, and yet we still have enough to build the whole kit left over. I did break the windshield putting it in this one, so I had to rob the windshield from the other kit. So I am in need of a windshield for a Mobius truck kit. If anybody's got an extra one, if you've built like a junker that's missing the windshield or something like that and you want to sell it, just get my email down below and send me an email. Let me know you have one and the price you want for it, and I'll PayPal you the money for it. I'd like to have it for the replacement for that one. And then we got our brake lines that go to the master cylinder up here. We scratch built the power steering lines going down to the scratch built steering box. And again, all the linkage and everything was all scratch built to represent the real truck. And, you know, it's just turned out really nice. Taking my time with it has really helped. We're down to the wire now of all the details. We still got to make all engine connections, get the air breather mounted on, and get the body down to the frame for its final resting place. The rear bumper was designed by Ryan Jones for a previous build I did. He sent me two, one 1/24 scale and one 1/25. This is the 1/25 scale. I shaved out the center of the bumper to look more like a Ford versus a Chevy. Chromed it, then we painted the backup or the license plate lights. The lenses, we painted them white. In person, you can see that. Through camera, you're not going to be able. I don't think you're going to be able to see that. Oh, and I just drop it. So, but it's there. I can also add a ball if I wanted to. The real truck doesn't have one, I don't believe, so we're not going to add one. If there is one there, we'll make one and get it put in. We'll put my custom tag on the back. Ernest designed the exact same license plate he has in the front, which is just says 1967. That'll go to the front bumper. And then we got to still put our back marker lights on the bed. And then, yeah. So that'll lead us into this. And I'll read this off to you so you know. These 3 grills that Ryan Jones just released are for 67 through 69 Ford Mercury truck grills. Fits 1/25 Mobius Ford Mercury truck kits. Corrects oversized headlight bezels. And they're only exclusively through Z-Force Model Works. They are $8 each. They will come on supports to prevent warping. And when I remove mine, there is no warping. So he did an excellent job of supporting it. They're spot on, perfectly clean, no lines. I can't find any layer lines or anything like that in it. And all orders will be boxed to prevent shipping damage, because they would be fiddly and easy to break being on the support. So he's really taking the care and the steps into making sure it comes to you safe and sound, even for the low price of $8. Now, I'm sure that's not including shipping, but if you want to build a replica of a certain truck through 67 through 69, definitely go check out Ryan Jones's page. Get you a grill that you need. Like, this is a 68 through 69, same thing as the 60 base model 67. It's just got that flat bar in the middle. And then the 67, this is the more accurate one. Base model, it just got the regular ribs. And this is the kind that we're trying to use to make it. But a Ranger grill is different. This is the Ranger grill. It's got that flat bar. And you'll know because it's got the Ranger badge in the center, and it's got the red stripes going across that bar, which we will be using this little thin red pinstripe because it fits perfect. Will play the part perfectly when the chrome is cured. So again, go check these out. These are 2 of the 3. The third one has just been chromed. Let me grab them. You can see the finish on that, on the grill, how shiny that is. Now that will remain that way, because what I'm going to do is I'll put it in the dehydrator for 2 hours and then let it dry 24 more, and then probably it'll be about 72 hours before I actually start handling it, get the headlights in it, the marker lights painted, the badge painted, and get the pinstriping on the center of the grill. And then that'll be it, and that can get installed. Even the screw detail is in there in the bezels. On the marker lights, the screw heads details there. It just leaves it up to you to fine-tune it with your detail paints. Just a beautiful, I can't say it enough. You can't tell the difference between this and a Mobius kit grill, although this is cleaner and better. So if you guys want to build a replica of the Ranger, whether it's a 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, go visit Ryan Jones and get you one of these grills, and that will enable you to do that. And then I got this at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. It comes black, yellow, and red, all different size pinstriping. It'll take the smallest one to go across that grill. So I paid like $6 or $7 for all 3 rolls. I've had them for 7 or 8 years. I've used them multiple times on different projects, and they work great. You can put this on before clear coat and bury it in the clear coat, and it hides very well. It's just all on what you're wanting to do and how you're wanting to do it. But you can see the word Ranger right there in the center, so that'll get a little red paint around it. And then the red stripes, and then we'll paint our marker lights orange and put our headlight lenses in, and that'll be ready to go. So, big shout out to MGSF, Ryan Jones, Ernest, Spunky739 for all the parts that they helped me make, or they made for me, I should say. And a lot of scratch building, kit bashing. We're down, like I said, we're down to the wire just for the final details to be put on it. That's why this one won't be done. This will be done before the end of the year, I hope. If not, it'll be a day or 2 after the first year, so it's going to be included. The Mustang, real quick, we did get a new windshield made for it and got it installed. It's all trimmed back, so now we can finish this one up as well. Maybe if everything goes good and time is allowed, I can get this one done before the first of the year. I still got quite a bit to do. I got to do the carbon fiber hood, the rear spoiler, the chin spoiler, make all my connections underneath the hood, make sure that the interior and everything lines up, get the roll cage back in it. There's quite a bit to do to this, but legitimately 3 or 4 days this can be done. So if not, that'll be the first one we finish up after the first of the year, and then we can start a new project and finish up another old one. So I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, a blessed Happy New Year, from my house to yours. Happy holidays, guys, girls. I hope you have enjoyed, Project Shorty as much as I have. I know Justin's thrilled. I'm truly hoping that he has me build a copy for him. If anybody out there was worthy, he was. He's a great guy. Owns several beautiful trucks, and I can't say no more. So it'll take me about 3 or 4 days to finish Shorty. Just to be this point of time, start taking my time, be slow, not handle things as much. One or two pieces at a time. Put it up, let it dry, then move on to a different part. But at the end of the day, it's all detail parts now that's going into it. The main work is done. The body, the clear coat. The clear coat laid down very nice, minimal orange peel, and where it's at, I don't want to sand or polish it out because I will burn through the edges. And I only know where it's at, so somebody'd have to really pick it out with a microscope to find it. Is there flaws on this? Yes, there is. Some of them couldn't be avoided. Some probably could have, but they're all minor. So at the end of the day, the overall build has been fantastic. Let me know what you think down in the comments on all this, and then we'll see you on the final of this, and probably do the final of this and the Mustang all at the same time, and then we'll talk about the next two projects that'll be on the bench, and somewhere in between that we'll be starting back up on the diorama, getting the truck done mainly, and then start getting everything put onto the diorama and weathered and detailed and all that stuff, and we'll bring you along for that also. So until then, guys, definitely go check out Ryan Jones for these new grill sets. Again, $8 to get something that's period correct, corrects the kit part, and then the finish on it is just as primo as the kit part. Anything's better than that. If you're just building it, this is a really good grill. No problem. So trying to replicate something, this fell very short. So until then, guys, this is Rusty Rotor. I'm out.